This is what it means to trade with God. The man who told the story says, "We used to raise sheep. When they grew big and healthy, we would take them to the market to sell. The market was far from where we lived. One day I urgently needed money, so I went to check on the sheep. I found only one that was ready for sale. It was large and fat. If I hadn't been in need, I wouldn't have made that long journey for just one sheep. But I had no choice, so I took it and set out for the market. The road was rough. Along the way, I met a man from another village who was leading many sheep. I asked him where he was going. He replied, "To the market to sell these sheep." I said, "I'm going there too," and we walked together. He had more than 10 sheep, and I had only one. As we continued, we saw a tent by the road. I suggested we stop and rest for a while, and he agreed. When we reached the tent, we saw 3 hungry children sitting outside. They looked poor and weak. I asked them, "Where is your father?" They replied, "He went away. Our mother gave birth yesterday, and we have nothing to eat." I turned to my companion and said, "What if we slaughter one of your sheep to feed them? We'll share the cost equally." He refused and said, "I will not slaughter my sheep. If you want, slaughter yours." So I said, "Then I will slaughter mine. I cannot leave these children like this." I slaughtered my only sheep, cooked the meat, and fed the children and their mother. They were overjoyed, deeply grateful, and satisfied. My companion and I also ate, and I hung the remaining meat to carry with me. After that, I told my companion, I no longer need to go to the market. I will visit a relative who lives nearby. When I reached my relative, he welcomed me warmly. I asked him to lend me some money to buy what my children needed. That night, as I walked away from the tent to relieve myself, I noticed something on the ground that looked like a piece of leather. I picked it up and realized it was a small cloth bag. Inside were pieces of gold. Immediately, I remembered what I had done for those poor children, and I knew that God had rewarded me with far more than what I had given. The next morning, when I was about to leave, my relative gave me the money I had asked for. I told him I no longer need it. Then I took out 5 pieces of gold and gave them to him. He was shocked and asked, "What is this?" I replied, "It is sustenance that God has granted us." I went to the market, bought what my children needed, and on my way back I met my companion again. He looked sad and troubled. I asked him, "Did you sell your sheep?" He said no. Then he told me that heavy rain had fallen, floods rushed through the valley, and although he survived, all his sheep were swept away. This is what it means to trade with God. Whoever gives for the sake of God will never lose. Acts of kindness protect from misfortune, and God never forgets those who show mercy to his creation. What you sacrifice for God's sake will return to you multiplied in ways you could never imagine. Sometimes, the smallest sacrifice brings the greatest reward. Has God ever rewarded your act of kindness? Share with us in the comments.